This is a stitched-together compilation of TikToks explaining why some believe the US is heading toward collapse. I don't own these clips. This is purely for educational and awareness purposes.
I just saw a comment from a supply chain worker, and if you're not panicking yet, you really should be. They said, I work in supply chain on the phone all day yesterday with American and Chinese companies, freight forwarders, manufacturers, on and on. The USA is in massive, massive trouble. Massive. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is someone who's in it. He's talking to the people who move your food, your medicine, your fuel every single day, and they're waving a red flag so big it could block out the sun. Empty cargo ships, slowed imports, delays, cancellations, and prices that are about to explode again. This is how collapses start. First the system slows, then it snaps, and we are right on the edge.
Okay, I think it's time we start talking about U.S. citizenship, because if you think being a U.S. citizen makes you safe from deportation under this Trump administration, I need you to listen closely, because right now, under Trump's second term, we're seeing something that we're never supposed to see in a constitutional democracy. American citizens are being deported. I'm talking about babies, cancer patients, legal residents sent across borders, sometimes without hearings, without lawyers, and without their medicine, and without basic due process. That's not a mistake. That's not a glitch. That's a sign. 3 U.S. citizen children, one just 2 years old, another battling stage 4 cancer, were deported to Honduras with their mothers, and when the judge asked the government to verify if the mother really chose to take her children, it was too late. The plane had already taken off. Now, let that sink in. A U.S. citizen child with cancer was deported without her medication. And when Congress had a chance to put in protections to make sure that this never happens again, House Republicans voted it down. So I don't want to hear this isn't who we are, because apparently this is what we're becoming, okay? Unless we decide to stop it. And look, I get it. Trump says that he's only targeting criminals. But here's the truth. Once you break the law to exile citizens, once you ignore courts' orders to sideline immigration judges, you're not just fighting crime, you're fighting the Constitution. And even worse, Trump has already openly floated the idea of sending U.S. citizens, the so-called homegrown criminals, to foreign prisons. He even joked that mistakes are just part of life. That's not leadership. That is authoritarianism testing the waters. So here's what we have to understand, that the Constitution protects all citizens from unlawful exile. Due process isn't optional, it's a cornerstone of democracy, and when government starts picking and choosing who gets to stay based on politics, race, or convenience, nobody's safe or citizenship is truly safe. So we are witnessing the slow erosion of the rule of law, one executive order at a time. And if we don't fight back with knowledge, with votes, with lawsuits, with clarity, we're going to wake up in a country where your rights only exist until someone more powerful says they don't. So I'll leave you with this. Citizenship without rights is just paperwork, and democracy without accountability is just theater. Now is the time to choose fear or freedom. What side are you on?
The U.S. economy just shrunk for the first time in a long time. And this is, the economy was actually expected to grow by 2.3% in Q1 previously, which is decent, but it actually shrunk by 0.3%. And keep in mind, the tariffs haven't actually fully kicked in yet. The first tariff shipments, they're beginning to arrive now, and shortages are expected. Now, under the hood, economists say the economy looks good, and this is what an otherwise healthy economy looks like. But there's just so much anxiety around the tariffs that it is hurting growth. And when the tariffs actually come into play, which is right about now, the economy, it's expected to really suffer. And this is the dollar's down 10% in Trump's first 100 days, and the market's been struggling because of Trump's tariffs. Though here, we've now seen Trump denying responsibility for the terrible GDP growth and the stock market imploding, with him saying today, this is actually Biden's stock market, not his. With Trump also saying the next quarter's GDP report is also Biden's fault. The one, keep in mind, the market was doing absolutely fine until he started rolling out his tariff plan. And two, funny enough, on January 29th, 2024, before the man was even president, Trump said that the stock market hitting record highs was actually actually all of his doing, not Biden's, because his polls were so high. So according to Trump, when he is not in office, the stock market goes up and it's because of him. He gets all the glory. But when he's in office and it goes down because of his own dumb policies, it's Biden's fault. Which I'll say, like, if you believe that, I know a Nigerian prince that would love to talk to you.
We have some big news right now. The United States will soon face likely supply chain issues as the last ships from China are arriving in the United States unencumbered and unimpacted by the tariffs. Well, according to CNN, starting next week, ships coming into the United States will face that 145% tariff. And as a result, companies are going to have to start making a critical decision. Are we going to be paying more to import or export goods and import them into the United States and therefore make American consumers pay more for what they're shipping in? Or are they going to just stop shipping in these goods altogether? And as a result, things like toys, clothing, electronics, appliances, and so much more, which are not impacted by exemptions, which are directly impacted by tariffs, will start costing more, or the United States will just not have as much of. And as a result, you'll have higher demand here in the United States because you won't have enough product to meet that demand. Well, as a result, you'll have supply chain issues.
My biggest fear is that people won't wake up. Biggest fear is that people won't ever wake up. I have a friend who is a truck driver and was actively at the port in Seattle, seeing that shipping containers were not coming in. He's actively losing work, not being able to get loads to pick up as we speak, and still getting harassed, belittled, told that it's not real. That is exactly what happened during COVID. When COVID hit, I was an ER nurse in a level 1 trauma ER in the state. People never woke up. I don't mean that in the sense, well, I literally and figuratively, but figuratively, they never woke up. And I find myself telling myself that things will get bad enough and people will wake up and America will figure its shit out. It has to get bad enough for enough people and then they'll wake up. And I just put 2 and 2 together today. I don't know that that will happen because these same people are the people who blue lips, gasping breaths, watching family members pass away and suffocate, being told that they can't get ventilators, losing their newborn child, losing their parents, their spouse, brothers and sisters, watching their own oxygen decrease, realizing that they're very sick, would use their last dying breath to yell at us and tell us that it was fake. They never woke up. There were people who spent months in the ICU with their spouse or their loved one and still refused to get the vaccine, refused to believe that COVID was real. That is how set in their ways they were. I don't know that people will wake up for this. I don't think that there's a certain demographic that it has to affect before people will wake up, because COVID also affected every demographic. Granted, yes, there were certain demographics it affected more, but it touched everyone. It took lives of every different social, cultural, economic class, and those people never woke up. We are 5 years deeper into this tunnel, this rabbit hole. Things that I saw from the people in COVID, the willingness to fight the people trying to help you as you are literally gasping for your last breath. Times that by 5 more years of lies and indoctrination and being in a cult. I don't know, guys. It's bringing back of how it felt to be a nurse back then, listening to my friend talk about being a trucker right now. Looking people in the eye and saying, I am not getting jobs. There are no shipments coming in because of what is going on. They straight to your face, they tell you you're lying or that they know better. That is exactly how it felt. And knowing that your personal hell was just ramping up, knowing that things were going to get so much worse, and you were on the front lines of that impending sense of doom that you know is coming, and nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear you. They'd rather call you names, call you a liar, say that they know better than you, and then you think, well, if enough people get sick, if enough people go broke, if enough people don't eat, if enough people go to the stores and the shelves are empty, if just enough people, whatever you want, fill in the blank, then they'll wake up and then they'll realize that we're not lying. No, they won't. No, they won't. It's literally an endless, vicious cycle, and I can tell you firsthand, people will use the last bit of air in their lungs to tell you that you're wrong.
To those who stand in solidarity, America is in trouble, and dare I say it, America is done. Look around. Executive orders written in secrecy on a daily basis. Blatant lies on camera on a daily basis. An administration so drunk on power, they don't even pretend to care what you think anymore. And now they're talking in ways that make one thing very clear: voting. Our last thread of participation is on the chopping block. And we know they are going to use force against protesters. We've been warning about it, and they are already laying the groundwork to justify it. Yet what do we still see daily? Politicians asking for donations, leaders calling for protests as if we haven't seen this play out before. And they're still yelling, "We can't let the oligarchy win." My friends, they already have won. I made a video yesterday asking, how do you think this all ends? And the response was overwhelming. Over 90% of the people said the same thing: either full-blown dictatorship or civil war. This is no longer conspiracy theory. This is no longer maybe. This is now. And the most disturbing thing for me is watching people still get up every day pretending everything is fine. Going to brunch, the gym, watching Netflix, scrolling through social media while the very ground they stand on is being pulled out from under them. Nothing is fine. Nothing is okay. And this is not the country it was just a few months ago. The direction we are heading in is horrifying, and this is not a drill. America has fallen. But that doesn't mean we lie down. Right now, the People's Union USA is organizing local chapters. We've launched in the Pacific Northwest, covering Vancouver, Oregon, and Portland, Washington, and we are expanding. Our mission is peaceful, it is legal, and it is incredibly effective. Yes, for now we are targeting corporations only 1 week at a time, but this all builds towards the massive 4th of July blackout, and after that we escalate hard. These companies have no idea what's coming. This is not about riots. This is not about chaos. This is about starving the system from the inside out, and we don't even have to leave our homes to do it. So I'm begging you, be careful. Use intelligence and stand in solidarity, because if we ever want to use the word America again, not as a brand, not as a lie, but as truth, we're going to have to fight for it, because what America meant was freedom, equality, and justice for all, and that's not what the country is anymore. This is our moment, and it is slipping away fast, my friends. We are the resistance. We are the economy. Hold the line, and please visit thepeoplesunionusa.com and share this video everywhere. Thank you.